How many of you are married? Just raise your hand. Now ladies from this group, do you remember when you first met your husband? Wow, almost everybody. Now gentlemen from this group, how many of you remember when you first met your wife? Okay, not too bad, not at 100%. Well, March 1st, 1978, that's when I met my first wife. Now I'll share with you where we met, and I ask you, how often have you shared the story of when you first met each other? You know, the group that just raised their hands, that they remembered. Do you ever share that story with your friends and your family? Well, believe it or not, we met on the New York City subway. That's right, the RR, big green circle. Pretty amazing story. Now fast forward 10 years, March 1st, 1988, well now we've been married for a few years. And we have two young boys, twins, and a dog, and we're starting to lead a busy life. John and Brian are the boys' names, and Guinness is the dog. And I should say, Guinness is named for the beer Guinness, not the world records. Just thought I'd throw that in for you. Fast forward again another 10 years, March 1st, 1988, and now we have 4 children and our dog. So the 2 additions are Neil and Eileen, and we still have Guinness. And many of you can appreciate how busy we are. A whirlwind life with 4 young children, our dog running around all over the place. You could probably relate to that. Now we'll fast forward another 10 years, March 1st, 1998. So 20 years after we're married, or after we met actually. So 20 years later, and life is moving along. It's a whirlwind. We have busy lives, and we're looking at each other. We're saying life is passing us by. Why don't we put a trip together? Why don't we take the kids and go to Hawaii? Now I should add that every year we try to take the kids on a trip to teach them different cultures, different ways of life, so they'd understand, you know, there's a whole big world out there. And, you know, we did enjoy doing it, but were we seriously out of our minds with young kids, 4 young kids and us going to Hawaii? Well, somehow we cobbled the trip together with miles, points, whatever, and got the flights, the rooms, and off we were to Hawaii. Now, one of the greatest things in the world is landing at Honolulu Airport. You land and you put the leis put around you, the flowers, and the smell of the flowers, it's absolutely intoxicating. How many of you here are from Hawaii? And have you been to Hawaii? Others? It's a beautiful, lovely place. So here we were in Hawaii. We had a plate full of things to do and see. You have Pearl Harbor, the USS Arizona, surfers, beaches, beautiful scenery, possibly even taking a boat ride and see whales. In fact, when I used to work on big ships years ago, I used to pass by whales out in the ocean. So what a great trip that would be for us to take. So off we went on a catamaran with a group tour. Catamaran is basically 3 hulls put together with canvas, and I pick a nice spot with my daughter, so I'm next to her on the canvas, and I have my binoculars, you know, for my ship days. I'm going to scan the horizon and look for whales, so I want to make sure we see whales. So as soon as we leave, I'm out looking for whales and scanning with my binoculars, and there's nothing, no whales. I don't see any whales anywhere. And I'm looking, and the crew members are talking and saying things to the kids, and I'm looking, and there it is. I'm pretty sure I see a whale off in the distance over there. I see a whale. So I announce it. Off to starboard side, there's a whale about 3 miles away. But just as I was saying that, the crew was saying things and people were getting busy, so I said, I better say it louder. 2 points to starboard, there's a whale out there. A crew member puts his hand on my shoulder and says, Sir, this is your daughter next to her. Put down your binoculars. She's about to pet the young whale next to the mom. And I look down and there's Eileen about to pet a small whale right next to her. The mom's there. So I ask you, where are you looking around the horizon for the answers with your set of binoculars when there they are at the feet, the answers that you seek?